I feel like right now we've got people running around the world. They're calling me. They're like, "Oh, we're in a housing bubble. This is 2008 all over again. What are we going to do? We shouldn't buy a house. We're going to lose all this equity in our house. The world is ending," right? People are scared. Today, we're going over 6 very, very simple graphs that show you that this time is nothing like last time. This is not 2008 over again. I know that we usually start with a joke, but I've just got to tell you guys, as I'm standing here and every time I record one of these videos, I think the real joke is like how huge my forehead looks in these. So there you have it. There's your joke for today. Today, I really just want to focus on alleviating some fears when it comes to buying a house. It's kind of hard for me to talk about and do a video on graphs, right? And try and explain those to you verbally. So make sure that you go over to browerrealestategroup.com, go to our blog section. The graphs will be posted in there so you can see them yourself and see it visually, because I know I'm not going to be able to do that good of a job explaining the graphs. So in today's video, we're going to keep it short and sweet. I'm just going to go over the 6 points. If you want to see the numbers yourself, like I said, jump on over to our website, take a look at it there, okay? Number 1, first point, mortgage standards right now are nothing like they were in 2008. It is hard to get a mortgage right now. Ask any of our recent clients, right? They dig into your background like no other, and there are a lot of tough qualifications that you need to meet. It's not impossible, but it's much tougher now versus in 2008. They were doing stated income loans. You could call up the bank, call up your lender and say, "Hey, I want to buy a $600,000 house. I make $200,000 a year." They wouldn't even check your income. They wouldn't verify you have a job. They would just give you the money, right? Clearly that puts people in a bad position, puts the market in a condition that it's likely to crash. Point number 1, right? Point number 2, prices aren't soaring out of control. As much as it feels like they are, we are seeing steady increase in pricing. It's slowly climbing, right? Versus back in 2002, 3, 4, 5, leading up to that crash, there was a huge jump suddenly. We went from average appreciation, which was like 3.8%, all the way up to 12.5. Right now, we're seeing appreciation happen, but it's gradual, right? It's slowly climbing. Point number 3, we don't have a surplus of homes on the market. In 2007, we had 9.5 months of inventory available. I would love to have 9.5 months of inventory right now, because then we'd actually have some homes to sell. Right now, we have 2 months. 2 months of inventory for sale. That is nothing. There's really, really low inventory. If you want to help the inventory problem, give me a call, right? And get your home sold in a heartbeat. Point number 4, new construction isn't making up the difference in inventory needed right now. They are trying really, really hard, but I have met with multiple builders in the last week, and both of them are telling me they're 15 to 18 months out from the day that you sign your contract to having your new home built and you moving in. That's insane. They're way behind. We need more houses. More houses aren't coming anytime soon. It's going to be at least, in my opinion, 2 to 3 years before these builders can even begin to start to catch up. Number 5, houses really aren't becoming too expensive to buy. So I've talked about this before in a previous video, but housing affordability, as far as the formula goes, there's really 3 main points to it. There's the price of the home, the average sales price of homes, the average income, wages being earned by purchasers, and the mortgage rate at the time, right? 15 years ago, when we had the crash, prices were high, like they are now. Prices are high, wages were really low, and mortgage rates were over 6%. We're around 3 right now. So today, like I said, prices are still high. Wages have increased. I know some people would be like, "Oh, I want them to increase more." I hope that for you too. But the mortgage rate is still right around 3%. So the average homeowner pays less of their monthly income towards their mortgage payment than they did back then, which makes it easier for them to stay in the home and not have to go into foreclosure. Lastly, point number 6, people are equity rich, not tapped out. Right up to the housing bubble, homeowners were using their homes as like personal ATMs, right? They withdrew their equity as soon as it was built up, learning their lesson in the process, because then when the market crashed, we had all sorts of issues, right? Now, prices have risen nicely over the last few years. So right now, over 50% of homes in the country have greater than 50% equity. Crazy, right? Owners haven't been tapping into it like last time. We're not seeing HELOCs out of control. We're not seeing people, extend as far as like doing a refinance and getting way too much money out. I personally did a refinance this last year because I wanted to have some of that equity, but at the same time, I didn't want to tap myself out. So I only refied up to 80%, right? I didn't refi the full 100, which is what most people are doing right now. So we still have equity. During the crash, as values began to fall, sellers found themselves in negative equity because they just weren't able to leverage themselves in a smart way, right? So bottom line, this is nothing like last time. Go to the website, go to our blog, check out these graphs, see the numbers for yourself. BrowerRealEstateGroup.com. There's a blog section that you can click on up at the top. But if you have any questions, you want to talk this over one-on-one, feel free to reach out. Thanks.